think we could talk about Venice, which has changed quite a lot in the last couple of years, mainly due to COVID. So Venice has always been obviously one of the biggest tourist attractions in Italy. But in a way, ever since the pandemic started, the tourism influx has changed a lot, meaning that tourists now come to Venice and stay for longer periods of time, which in a way has benefited the city because originally Venice would be one of those day trips tourists would do, so the hop in and out culture. Whereas now people are taking more time to visit the city, to get to know the culture, to get to know the locals a little bit more, which has helped financially and economically because a lot of locals have started their businesses up again. So all in all, I think it's going in the right direction, hoping it stays that way.
Sure. Well, we live in the city of Oxford. It's a very beautiful, ancient city, and it's really important to kind of make sure that it's accessible to everyone. However, there's recently been a lot of new traffic measures. So there are things like traffic barriers put in lots of streets, and it's become a real problem for some local people. It's affected local businesses, and it has caused actually quite a lot of traffic and a lot of pollution. And so I feel it's a shame that this city is becoming harder to access when I think a lot of people could benefit from it.
I think I agree that this definitely has been a change recently. So the City Council have been trying to introduce low traffic neighborhoods, and I live on a very, very lively crossroads, and also I don't drive, so I rely either on walking or using public transport. And so as such, I should be one of the people who directly benefit from the measures. And I would say to a degree it has worked, and I absolutely agree with the longer term goals of reducing pollution. I think the way it has been implemented was really poor because, for example, people weren't giving sufficient notice. All of the barriers came into work at once. There wasn't enough direct communication. Many people were very angry, and I think there is also the angle where something is being introduced not by improving existing structures, but by forbidding people from doing what they used to do. And you can see how that would resonate poorly across the city.
Istanbul has changed so much, maybe over the decades, because the population increased dramatically. Now I think it's the most populated city in the Europe, and there are so many beautiful places, but the traffic is terrible because there are almost 18 or 20 million people in a tiny city, because the size is really tiny. So it's just changed dramatically. Yes, it's a good thing for Turkey, because now it's attractive place for tourists, but it's not good for the local people and the other people. Now, if they want to find a job, they go Istanbul or Ankara or other big cities in Turkey. So it's not good because overpopulation is not good for a city, for transport and for the other things. Yeah.
The capital city of my country, Montevideo, it has changed a lot. Maybe not in terms of infrastructure, but when it comes to diversity, you definitely get to see people from like different parts of the world that maybe when I was a child you didn't get to see very often, and that is also reflected in, for example, restaurant options. You know, there's food from everywhere in the world, when again, maybe 20 years ago, you didn't see that. I like it. Yeah, I think it's very positive.